And now, WWE Network presents Fastlane Kickoff.
WWE Universe, tonight we are right across the street from Progressive Field, the home of the Indians. We are in the Quicken Loans Arena, the home of WWE Fastlane. We have taken over Cleveland. This is our next pit stop on the road to WrestleMania, and one last chance to determine what all is going to go down at the show of shows. It's brother versus a beast. The winner going on to face the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Triple H in the main event of WrestleMania. This is a WWE Fastlane Kickoff Show. I'm your host, Renee Young. Joining me today on this esteemed panel, please welcome the savior of misbehavior, Corey Gray.
Nothing says misbehaving like using social media responsibly.
That's
we urge you to do so. Use the hashtag WWE Fastlane. Join the conversation. We are almost at WrestleMania.
Oh,
Realize
baby.
that. That's a real thing.
We got WWE Hall of Famer Booker T.
You know, like the Eagles said, Glenn Fry said it best, God rest his soul. Life in the fast lane. It's going down tonight. Cleveland.
Baby. We've got WWE Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler.
And Renee, let me be the first to say that that is a nice dress. What brand is that? Clearance?
Oh my, what? All right, King's obviously in his own little mood tonight. That's all right, we'll sort that out. But this is Fastlane. This is the road to WrestleMania. We've got a lot going on here tonight.
There's only one place that you can see this.
In the entire world, right?
On the entire planet Earth and
Big deal.
beyond. There's only one place you can see it, and that's the WWE Network. So if for some reason you don't already have it, go to WWENetwork.com. Start your free month now. You get Fastlane. WrestleMania is like next month.
It's right around the corner.
You're insane if you don't have it. So just go get it.
$9.99, get up there.
$9.99.
So WrestleMania is just around the corner. We just established that mentally, physically, all the WWE superstars in the back warming up, getting ready. What's going through their mind right now?
Yeah, for me, I think the hard part has been done. That's making it to a fast lane, you know, just a couple of months before WrestleMania is going to happen. These guys are in shape. They're ready. They're injury-free. We know we had a lot of injuries along the way. That's the most important thing, getting the fast lane.
King, what match has you most pumped up?
Oh, without a doubt. Brother versus beast. I cannot wait for that.
Boom.
I am predicting right now we are going to witness the biggest implosion between brothers that the WWE has ever seen, and I promise you, I can't wait. I'm loving it.
It could potentially be like a scene from The Revenant. It could get ugly.
Yeah, like
Graves, what are you looking forward to?
I might surprise some people here. I think something tonight this may very well steal the entire night is the Divas Championship match. Charlotte and Brie Bella.
Really?
I'm telling you, this thing is getting intense. It's crazy. There's a lot at
Very
stake.
personal.
They very well may steal the show tonight.
Well, we've got a lot going on here on the WWE Fastlane Kickoff Show, including the social media lounge for the man that is plugged into the social pipeline, Rich Brennan. Rich, what's going on?
Hey, Renee, thanks so much, and obviously so much more to get to here tonight. But coming up exclusively here in the social media lounge, we're going to be joined in just a little bit by none other than a man who has competed around the globe but wants to prove that he is among the elite here in WWE. AJ Styles will join us here in the social media lounge, and he's going to answer your questions. All you have to do is send them in and use the hashtag AJ Styles. Now, we're going to be here all night. Get involved in the conversation. Use the hashtag WWE Fastlane. But hey, what a matchup we have coming in just a little bit. The United States Championship is on the line, Renee.
Yeah, to rev our engines for Fastlane, it's a 2 out of 3 falls match for the United States Championship, with Kalisto putting it all on the line against Alberto Del Rio. Now, that match is coming up in just a few moments, but these matches between these two have been grueling. I mean, the size difference between Kalisto and Alberto Del Rio. Kalisto's walking into this as a champ. King, what does Del Rio have to do in order to get the title back around his waist?
Oh, it's going to be easy. This is about the laws of nature. I'm telling you, big beats little. Bigger is better, let's face it. And Kalisto is so short, his mask smells like feet.
Kalisto's the champ.
It's going to be a cakewalk. He's
Kalisto's
the
the
champ
champ,
at the moment.
But he
after
won it
this
off
match-
of Alberto Del Rio.
You're so
Oh,
cute
man.
when you're talking about things you don't understand.
Isn't it nice?
You know, the way I see it, Kalisto has been the toughest challenge for Alberto Del Rio since his return, going out there. And I wouldn't even call it an upset. I said it before that match. This could be that any given Sunday night. Didn't I say that, Corey?
You absolutely did.
And that's exactly what happened. Kalisto went out there, and I wouldn't even say it was history. It was destiny for Kalisto. And tonight, I think it's going to be a little bit of the same.
Corey, you've been watching Kalisto for some time now. And what do you think about Alberto Del Rio saying all of his wins have been flukes up to this point?
I couldn't disagree more, and I think Alberto Del Rio is playing a mind game here. I know Del Rio knows what Kalisto's capable of. He's not going to underestimate him. He's just trying to get inside of his head, but I promise you, we have only seen the tip of the iceberg with what Kalisto is capable of.
You know, it's kind of like the old Bruce Lee movie where the sensei say he's extraordinary.
Extraordinary.
It's almost exactly the same thing.
I know a doctor that can fix that for you.
Graves, what would you attribute Kalisto's success to up to this point? He's been white hot since he's been here.
He's so versatile. The guy can do anything. He can do things that the WWE Universe has not seen before. I promise you that. The guy has a seemingly endless array of maneuvers. The guy is amazing. The sky is the limit for Kalisto if he can get past Del Rio tonight.
So do you think he walks away U.S. champ tonight?
I'm going to say yes.
Mr. King?
I'm going to say, as I said before, bigger is better. Bigger beats littler.
Book, where do you stand?
King is
You
little.
know, sometimes, you know, that one guy just got your number, and I think that one guy is Kalisto. He's got Del Rio's number, man.
Well, that match is going to be coming up here in WWE Fastlane in just a few minutes. But also tonight, we're going to have to be dissecting the triple threat main event that's all coming up. But tonight, it's also all about the ladies, the Divas Championship match, when the champ Charlotte's going to face off against Brie Bella, a situation that's become increasingly, incredibly personal for Brie Bella over the past couple weeks, and it all boils down to tonight.
I've been wrestling since I was 18 years old. So it is with a heavy heart and the utmost sadness that I officially announced my retirement.
Obviously, everyone knows how much this business means to him and how much wrestling means to him. And when I saw him go out there and just speak from the heart and just feel the crowd that's just given him the greatest career in WWE, I couldn't be more proud.
Last week was hard for Daniel, but because of all of the love that all of you have shown him, he was really able to turn a bad situation to something positive.
It's crazy because being a twin and always having Nikki by my side, I always felt so strong. Nikki going through her injury and seeing that, and it kills me. I'm like, how is it that I'm the smallest one out of them two, and yet I'm the strongest one standing?
Brie, I understand if you need to forfeit Fastlane. And why would I do that? You need to go home. Help Nikki with her physical therapy. Open a bed and breakfast with Daniel. Go home and be the good sister and wife that I know you are. You are scared, and I am standing here in disgust seeing the champion you have become. What I have become? I can only imagine what your goat-faced vegan babies are gonna become.
Well, that was enough. And Brie Bella's taking out Charlotte. First to slap it out of the attack, and Charlotte crossed the line. Emotional Brie Bella beat the hell out of Charlotte and driving her from the ring. Emotions can do funny things. They could lead Brie Bella to a victory Sunday for the Divas Championship against Charlotte.
Brie Bella obviously has a ton on her mind going into this match. Nikki is recovering from a successful neck surgery. Daniel Bryan retiring just 2 weeks ago on Monday Night Raw. How are you able to focus on a championship match when you have all these other personal issues at stake? Book?
Well, I mean, definitely Brie has a job cut out for her. She's going to have to block out all distractions tonight. She knows what it's like to be there. She knows what it's like to be the Divas champion. Getting back there is going to be the question. I look on the other hand with Charlotte. 2 words come to mind: Ric Flair. You know, Charlotte has been training for this moment perhaps since she was a little bitty girl.
Little bitty?
But tonight, I think if Brie could just hold it all together, like I say, put all distractions. Daniel Bryan, that's going to be hard. Her sister, that's going to be hard. Come out here tonight, think about this 6-man, and perhaps walk out the Divas champion.
I did actually speak to Brie earlier, and she told me she's going to be wearing Daniel Bryan's kick pads from WrestleMania 30 tonight, hopefully to give her a little bit of good luck going into her match tonight. But we've seen the Divas division.
That's not going to help her.
You don't think that's going to cut it? Well, hopefully it'll give her a good little omen. We've seen what the Divas division looks like with Charlotte as a champion. How would it change the landscape if Brie were champion again? With the Divas Revolution, we haven't seen her in that top
I'm afraid
spot.
you're getting way ahead of yourself when you're talking about Brie as the champion.
Okay.
Because let's face it, Daniel Bryan came out 2 weeks ago. He retired in front of everybody. Oh, my gosh, you look around the crowd, everybody, the waterworks were turned on, right? I mean, that speech would have brought a tear to a glass eye. It was great. And what I envision tonight is a storybook ending. I see Brie Bella going into the ring, losing, coming out next week, retiring like Daniel Bryan did, and the two of them ride off into the sunset and live happily ever after and have a lot of kids.
All right.
And you know, a baby goat is called a kid.
Oh my gosh.
That's true.
Wow.
You're right. I cannot argue with that. What do you think Charlotte and Rick have up their sleeve for tonight, Graves?
You never know. You never know what Charlotte has in her back pocket. And with Nature Boy, I mean, he's the dirtiest player in the game for a reason. The guy never runs out of tricks to pull and little secret plans. There's no way Brie Bella walks out tonight. I think she's going to give it a hell of an effort. I think it's going to be an incredible match. She's going to leave it all in the ring. But that said, she does not have what it takes. She doesn't have the mental state right now to beat Charlotte at the top of the game.
I say never say never.
Never say never.
than you
They're
look
saying
for it.
definitely not. All right, well, we're going to have to wait to see what exactly unfolds in the Divas Championship matchup tonight. Of course, the Divas division, they're going to be lots of those women will be standing around looking to see who walks up the champion. This is a top spot right now. But stick with us because coming up, we're going to be breaking down tonight's triple threat main event, and joining us in the hot seat will be Brock Lesnar's advocate, Paul Heyman. It's all right here in the WWE Fastlane Kickoff Show.
Monday Night Raw, though, we're down for a 6-man, 8-man, 6-team. You want to tag with us?
Go!
Let's go. Hey.
This is the WWE Fastlane Kickoff Show, one of the last destinations on our roadmap on the road to WrestleMania, and it is about to get real up in Cleveland, Ohio. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose. It's a triple threat match, whether you're brothers or a beast. All three of these superstars know the ultimate prize in WWE lies ahead on the grandest stage of them all.
I made a choice a long time ago, and that's why I'm willing to pay the price every single night.
There is a desire, there is a fire inside Roman Reigns that cannot be put out.
I have everything on the line at Fastlane.
Versus brother,
I may look crazy, but let me assure you, I ain't crazy, and I ain't stupid.
This lunatic, Dean Ambrose, just completely throws caution to the wind.
I want the title.
Versus Beast!
Brock Lesnar is your enemy this Sunday night.
The ability to inflict extreme harm at a moment's notice.
You can't get by my Beast.
Wow, I've never been in the lair of a beast before. Brock Lesnar is the single most destructive force in WWE, but I'm indestructible, son. Take me to Suplex City, baby.
You don't understand. It's different. He is a beast than anyone you've ever competed against. Brock Lesnar does stand in your way, but Dean Ambrose stands in your way as well.
I don't need your help.
Somebody has to decide that that championship is worth more than that friendship.
Each one of these guys is going to do absolutely anything in their power to win.
The WWE Fastlane.
At Fastlane.
One beast will emerge victorious.
I will drag my broken body to WrestleMania, and I will take that title away from Triple H.
I'm gonna win somehow at Fastlane, and then I'm going to WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar will F5 Roman Reigns, F5 Dean Ambrose.
I hope you're prepared to give me a worse beating than you've ever given anybody in your life.
And now I know that you believe that.
Brother Roman Reigns
versus brother
Dean Ambrose
versus Brock Lesnar.
The winner will headline WrestleMania for the WWE World Title versus Triple H.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now for a little insight on tonight's triple threat main event, and of course Brock Lesnar, his advocate, Paul Heyman. Paul, pleasure to have you on the panel here.
I'm sure it is.
How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for asking.
How
I come out here and that's what you want to know, how I'm doing today.
I was just getting you out here and introducing you, but talking about Brock Lesnar, how's he been preparing today? What's going on in his mind? What's his...
Today is a typical day in the life of Brock Lesnar when Brock Lesnar walks into a big money fight. Brock Lesnar is prepared. Brock Lesnar has studied the opposition. Brock Lesnar is here tonight at Fastlane to conquer Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose.
So this is a triple threat match where Brock Lesnar does not actually even have to be involved to determine the outcome of this. Does that affect your strategy going into the match?
No, because neither Roman Reigns nor Dean Ambrose is going to be able to eliminate Brock Lesnar from the equation. Brock Lesnar will be the center of this match. Brock Lesnar will be the focal point of this match. Brock Lesnar has the spotlight on him in this match. It's up to Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose to deal with Brock Lesnar, not for Brock Lesnar to have to deal with Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose.
Are you concerned that they could handle this as a handicap match to start things off?
I'm hoping that they do.
Why?
Well, because if Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose actually go into it with a team mentality, which is going to be their nature because they are close as brothers, then someone has to realize that the other will betray him. Either Roman Reigns has to betray Dean Ambrose, or Dean Ambrose has to betray Roman Reigns. They both can't go on to main event WrestleMania against Triple H if they could get by Brock Lesnar, which they can't. But if they feel that they can team up against Brock Lesnar, it's fait accompli. They each have to know one has to betray the other. And then Brock Lesnar will divide and conquer.
That's what the shirt says, right? So who do you think is the biggest threat? Roman or Brock? Or Roman or Dean?
Brock Lesnar.
He's his own threat?
Brock Lesnar is a threat to Roman Reigns. Brock Lesnar is a threat to Dean Ambrose. I don't even know why I'm out here talking about Fastlane. It's almost fait accompli.
I mean, we got the sign right above us.
Shouldn't I be talking about Brock Lesnar versus Triple H at WrestleMania? Shouldn't that be the focus of my hype this evening? Because at WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar, who will get by Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose tonight at WWE Fastlane, will go on to defeat and conquer Triple H to become the undisputed WWE Heavyweight Champion of the world.
Can I ask a question? So you're saying Brock Lesnar is actually looking past this match? This is an afterthought.
No, Brock Lesnar is very focused on the pain he's going to inflict onto Dean Ambrose this evening and the fight he has on his hands with Roman Reigns. And I have great respect for Roman Reigns, as you well know. I am looking past this match. I am looking forward to my client, Brock Lesnar, main eventing WrestleMania and defeating Triple H for the championship.
I mean, but you're a businessman. You're thinking about the money. Are you thinking about Brock Lesnar's well-being going out here tonight with two men? Because this is the way I look at it. Myself and my brother, if we had one guy to go out there and beat up on, we're going to go out there, we're going to do it, and we're going to do that job, and we're going to do that job well.
If you and your brother went into the ring with any guy, that guy's dead meat. No man could survive a beating at the hands of Harlem Heat. My client's not a man. My client is a beast. My client is a conqueror. My client is a once-ever athlete named Brock Lesnar.
You know what? I've known Paul Heyman for a long time. I mean, he's despicable. He's sleazy. He's underhanded. He's reprehensible, and those are his good qualities. But I'll tell you what, tonight, he is telling the truth. Every word that has come out of his mouth tonight is the truth, and I'm afraid to say it's going to hurt a lot of people's feelings, but it's going to happen.
All right, well, we're going to have to wait. I mean, the clock is ticking down. Graves, is there something else that you want to chime in there?
I am not one of those people that will have my feelings hurt. I've been saying it for weeks. I stand true. Brock Lesnar is going to do exactly like Mr. Heyman said and go on to WrestleMania, and I think we should be looking. What's after WrestleMania?
I'm just playing devil's advocate, man. That's
We're just
all
going to keep the ball rolling. We're going to keep on moving. Paul, thank you so much for coming out and joining us. It's always great to hear your insight. Shed a little education up on tonight's triple threat match. But stick with us because still to come, we've got AJ Styles. He's going to be in the social media lounge taking your questions in a live Q&A, so use the hashtag AJ Styles. That's coming up right next on the WWE Fastlane Kickoff Show.
From the masters of the 5-second pose and tables, ladders, and chairs comes a new show that is completely balls out ridiculous.
Slap a donkey and call me Bertha. It totally reeks of awesomeness.
We shouldn't play with fire. The table was broken and I burned my scrotum.
The Edge and Christian Show that totally reeks of awesomeness series premiere.
I feel high. Oh, so high.
Tonight, immediately following WWE Fastlane. Only on WWE Network.
Where's my agent?
You have an agent? Go to WWENetwork.com now to start your free month.
Welcome back to the WWE Fastlane Kickoff Show. We're just over 30 minutes away from Fastlane going live on the WWE Network. We have matches with huge WrestleMania implications, and we also have a mega showdown. In the return of the Cutting Edge Peep Show, Edge and Christian will welcome on their guests, The New Day. And last time they happened to meet up, things got musical.
I have been waiting for this all my life. Okay, hold it down, respect the crap. Hold it down, respect the battle! Yeah. No, you can't have a battle everybody knows without a kazoo. What? Oh, yeah. No. That's not a good. No, Yeah. We don't care about your kazoo, son.
So I think that it's fair to say you can draw some comparisons between New Day and Edge and Christian.
Oh,
King,
man.
in your opinion, who's more entertaining?
I think the better question would be, what's not more entertaining? I would rather watch paint dry than to listen to people play music in wrestling.
I mean,
wait,
why are you such a Scrooge all of a
Just
sudden?
go back on the WWE Network and look at the time this character named Tiny Tim came on the King's Court and tried to play a ukulele. I busted that thing into a million pieces,
How
and he
can you not
sobbed
like
and he
music?
cried.
You're from Memphis.
Well, just music and wrestling, they just don't go together. Come on. I hope that
Poor
tonight
honky tonk
Big
man.
E takes that kazoo and this time chews it up and swallows it, and then
So
I
you
hope
don't like
that
the trombone?
And then I hope Edge and Christian take that trombone and stick it where the sun don't shine on the New Day.
Oh, well, speaking of my,
Who threw all
my
the
next
music?
question is, how are Edge and Christian going to be able to keep that booty dancing to a PG level? Is that possible?
This is WWE Network. I don't think we have to, right? I think we can get away with whatever we want. Let them dance. They're having a great time. I'm having a great time. We understand what's going on, King. I don't know why you don't get with it.
They did even say scrotum on their show, didn't they?
I think
We
they
just
did.
did it here.
I do that.
All right, I like where this is headed. Well, actually, coming up immediately after Fastlane tonight on the WWE Network, that is when the Edge and Christian show that totally reeks of awesomeness will be making its debut. I know they've been working very, very hard to get the show going, so I'm very excited to see what they are bringing to the table. But we've got more titles on the line here at Fastlane, namely the freshly minted Intercontinental Champion, Kevin Owens. He's going to face off against the show-off Dolph Ziggler, who was up for the challenge immediately after this took place last Monday on Raw.
It was at the orders of Stephanie McMahon, an impromptu fatal five-way match. Dean Ambrose forced to put his Intercontinental Championship on the line. These guys left everything they had in the ring. So you see Stardust with a big boot. Ambrose was not prepared. Remember this. He did not go out to the ring prepared to defend his title against four other superstars, four of the best in the world. Tyler Breeze here looks like he has things well within hand, but bam! KO. Pop-up powerbomb. 3 seconds later, new IC champ.
Dolph, we just saw Kevin Owens capture the Intercontinental Championship last week on Raw, but you actually have had recent success against Kevin. So how confident are you heading into tonight's match?
JoJo, confidence with me has never really been an issue. When it comes to Kevin Owens, Kevin being Kevin, I don't know, I'm sure he has some kind of excuse. Maybe he had a sore Twitter finger, or maybe he got the sniffles, or maybe this week's episode of The People vs. O.J. Simpson didn't record on his DVR. I don't know, I'm not inside his head. What I do know is this, the last 2 weeks, head-to-head, toe-to-toe, I beat KO. This last Monday, he took a page out of my own book, and he stole a win from me. If he hadn't, right now I'd be Intercontinental Champion. So if Kevin is gonna be Kevin, why not Dolph go back to being Dolph? Dolph being Dolph. Damn Kevin and his sore finger and the sniffles and the Kardashians and O.J. Simpson, and how about I go out there tonight and win the Intercontinental Championship? Then I go on to WrestleMania. The bigger spotlight on me than ever before. And I do what I do best. Steal the show. Thanks, JoJo.
Is a sore Twitter finger the same as Nintendo thumb, you think?
It could be.
Probably
could be very
close
similar,
to.
yeah.
So we were in Dolph Ziggler's hometown. I mean, I talked to him earlier. He said he went to St. Edwards, which is right by here, where he's a multinational champion, and also just down the road from Kent State University, Division I athlete, the all-time winningest wrestler at Kent State. He's walking in here. He's got his family and friends. Can he get it done here tonight, King?
Well, let me just say this. First of all, he may be able to get it done. Family and friends, that's going to mean a lot because he's an emotional guy. But Kevin Owens, let's talk about Kevin Owens. I mean, Kevin Owens is not your typical WWE champion. I mean, here's a guy who, like me, has a body that screams, I had donuts for breakfast. But you know what he is? He's an opportunist. And just like he took the opportunity that was laid in front of him and he won that fatal five-way. And I think that sometime, somewhere in that match tonight, an opportunity is going to arise and look for Kevin Owens to take advantage.
Booker, do you think that these two are evenly matched?
Well, first of all, JoJo was looking good.
Fine.
If
she was
I could
looking
just,
fine.
If I can just say that as far as Dolph Ziggler goes and Kevin Owens, he's here and he's here to stay. He's the guy that's going out there and prove his worth here in the WWE. The guy's a top-notch talent. Dolph Ziggler, on the other hand, is a guy who's trying to get back to the dance. Dolph always talk about going out there stealing the show. He needs to worry about stealing a match tonight against Kevin Owens.
We've seen him use some tactics lately, so we'll have to wait and see exactly how that all unfolds. But stick with us here on the Fastlane Kickoff Show, because coming up next, we've got the United States Championship match. It's a 2 out of 3 falls match with the current champ Kalisto facing his rival Alberto Del Rio.
Kalisto!
Tonight only. Save 30% off select t-shirts.
It's my house, come on, turn it up. Hear a knock on the door and the night begins. Pour yourself something cold, baby, cheers to this. Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down, we don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house, play that music too loud. Show me what you do now, we don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house.
Hard to believe, just 6 weeks away from the show of shows, the showcase of the Immortals WrestleMania. Hello there, I'm Mauro Ranallo. This is the last stop. This is Fastlane Kickoff before the pay-per-view at the top of the hour, only on the WWE Network. Mauro Ranallo alongside the omnipresent Byron Saxton, and I finally get to retweet and like the fact that I am working with a former WWE World Heavyweight Champion and a United States Champion, JBL.
I feel like Stephen Curry playing with the Sixers out here.
What? Gee, thanks a lot.
I'm just kidding, Mario. It's an honor to work with you.
That's moral. Thank you.
Well said, Mario.
Here comes the challenger, a former two-time United States champion, Alberto Del Rio, who is, well, needless to say, let his feelings be known. He thought it was a fluke, not once, not twice. But he thinks it's a fluke, JB.
It is a fluke. Are you kidding me? This is Mexico's greatest export. A man from a dynastic family in Mexico, the greatest wrestling family of all time. Was it a fluke? Yes, Mosquito got lucky.
You get defeated twice for the United States Championship, and it's a fluke? The guy got lucky? Come on. That's being delusional.
WWE Fastlane is presented by Tap Out. Tap Out coming in April. And coming your way is a best 2 out of 3 falls match for the United States Championship. 2 out of 3 falls, customary championship bouts in Mexico. Used to be the case here in North America, but now a special treat for fans watching WWE Fastlane Kickoff, as here comes the Dominion of Dynamo, the King of Flight, the two-time and currently reigning and defending United States Champion, Kalisto.
That was a mouthful, Mauro.
That's how you make an entrance.
There you go. I tell you what, you don't have to talk about the confidence of Kalisto. Check out what he put on Twitter. I beat you before, Alberto Del Rio, and tonight I'm going to do it again. 2 out of 3 falls. Tonight is what you call no excuses, guys.
The following is a 2 out of 3 falls match, and it is for the United States Championship. Introducing first, the challenger from San Luis Potosí, Mexico, weighing in at 239 pounds, Alberto Del Rio. Y de la Ciudad de México, pesando 170 libras, ganador de un Slammy Award y el United States Champion, Kalisto.
So I can't help but wonder if, Alberto Del Rio is the one who requested this 2 out of 3 falls matchup. I'm kind of wondering if he had to prove to himself that he's better than Kalisto.
Yeah, no such thing as a fluke, just like there's no such thing as a lucky punch, and we are set. Best 2 out of 3 falls for the prestigious United States Championship, a championship whose pedigree goes back to 1975, JBL, the inaugural champion, the illustrious Harley Race.
Yeah, an incredible championship, and what an honor it is to hold this championship, and what a great champion Alberto Del Rio will be once he gets rid of this little neon green pinball.
Neon green pinball, huh? Who has defeated Alberto Del Rio for that United States Championship twice.
And immediately Del Rio attacking that arm, wanting to set him up as quickly as possible for his trademark cross-arm breaker, and just smashing Kalisto's head into the turnbuckle.
Del Rio knows one thing. You want to get him to stay.
Look at this. Ripping out the mask of Kalisto.
There have been 81 different champions. Ric Flair's had the most reigns at 6. Del Rio looking for his 3rd reign as champion with the corner mount.
Oh, watch out. There's a quickness of Kalisto that Del Rio's got to watch out for.
Those lightning quick kicks.
Ooh.
But the size and the strength of Alberto Del Rio, and JBL, you know he's going to exploit that as much as possible.
Yeah, because this isn't the Valley of Elah, and you don't have Kalisto with 5 stones and a slingshot. Goliath wins in real life, and that's what's going to happen here.
Oh, beautiful spike Hurricane Rana goes for the cover side press, and Kalisto gets a 1 count.
Looks like David's doing pretty good at the moment.
This is why, Byron, the Del Rio wanted a 2 out of 3 falls.
Plancha wipes out Del Rio.
Talk about wasting no time. Take it to the air. Do it. Watch it to the dance, Kalisto.
And the Lucha chants ringing through the Quicken Loan Center here in Cleveland, Ohio. The high-octane, high-flying offense, JBL, of Kalisto. But that's one way to short-circuit it.
Well, if contrast makes it matches, look, you certainly have it here. You got a very physical style with Alberto Del Rio, and you got the high-flying lucha style with Kalisto.
Quick thinking, Del Rio rolled into the ring, breaking the count and giving him an opportunity to continue to mete out the punishment on the outside.
Well, keep in mind, you can win this match by pinfall, submission, count out, disqualification, so it's not necessarily a bad strategy to try to keep your opponent on the outside.
And to clarify, Byron, you can win this fall.
And here goes Del Rio for a quick cover. Gets a 1 count. Alberto Del Rio and Kalisto in the first month of the year, going back and forth with United States Championship like Drake and Meek Mill, and oh, a snap suplex by Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah. Now time to gloat.
Well, this is where hubris comes in,
That
JBL.
is what a champion looks like. It's not hubris if you can back it up. And Alberto Del Rio can certainly back it up.
Well, to Del Rio's credit, he has had 2 out of 3 fall matches in the WWE before. This is the first for Kalisto.
Yeah, Del Rio had a classic 2 out of 3 falls match with another masked warrior, Rey Mysterio. I know, JBL, you've been in 2 out of 3 fall matches. Talk about the strategy and the one that Del Rio's employing here, really just punishing Kalisto, looking for that quick pinfall or submission.
We'll see what Del Rio's about to do here. This is not good for...
Well, what's it good for Del Rio?
I once had the honor of fighting Del Rio's uncle, Mil Mascaras, in Nuevo Laredo in a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Covered by Kalisto, and Mil Mascaras, the first masked superstar.
For the Mexican Heavyweight Championship about a quarter of a century ago. It's one thing that Del Rio and Kalisto know very well.
Mil Mascaras, the first masked performer to perform at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. Now Kalisto using the barricade. Oh, and he sends Del Rio flying over the barricade into the crowd.
This Kalisto just never ceases to amaze me.
There's a reason he was the 2015 OMG Slammy Award winner. Moves like that. chair! Gosh. And the bell goes as the referee calls for the automatic disqualification. What was Del Rio thinking there, JBL?
I think Del Rio reacted.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the first fall by disqualification, Kalisto.
I don't get that. Why would you get yourself disqualified?
Immediately behind the proverbial 8 ball, he's down 1-0. And I have to really question Alberto Del Rio's motives there.
Do you really have to question him? Well, sometimes you lose a battle to win a war, Mauro. That is exactly what Del Rio's doing right here.
Well, clearly, the second fall of this match has not started yet.
It's a 2 out of 3 fall match.
And Del Rio continues to manhandle Kalisto, down 1-0 in this best 2 out of 3 falls match for the United States Championship. Alberto Del Rio is a man possessed, but it's Kalisto who has earned the first fall via DQ here on Fastlane Kickoff.
Come on! We're so hyped! We're so hyped! That's what I'm talking about. Turn it up. You're Camp WWE, man. Woo! Man, they have no idea that neither of us have a license. No, you didn't. Watch the road.
Live on the WWE Network, Steve Austin Show podcast.
No, that's the truth, dude. You changed my entire career that one night.
Camp WWE is the most fun on earth.
Stop it! Stop it! Damien, help! I'm Triple H's dad, Quadruple H. My friends call me Quad.
We shouldn't play with fire. The table was broken and I burned my scrotum.
Welcome to the grandeur, the magnificence, the beauty, and the brilliance. The greatest event in live entertainment is WrestleMania. It's all fun from here.
Go to WWENetwork.com now to start your free month.
Welcome back to WWE Fastlane Kickoff. The first fall has been determined. Alberto Del Rio demanding that they ring the bell for the second fall, as the second fall has yet to get underway. Kalisto up 1 fall to nothing thanks to the disqualification after Alberto Del Rio introduced a steel chair to the proceedings.
Yeah, I still don't understand that strategy. To your point, Mauro. Oh, that kind of puts Del Rio behind the 8 ball here.
And the second fall underway with Kalisto using those educated feet of his. And speaking of educated feet,
still don't understand the strategy, Byron.
Back press by Del Rio, and he puts Kalisto away quickly.
The winner of the second fall, Alberto Del Rio.
I guess there was a method to the madness, John.
And just like that, we are even at 1 fall apiece as we take you back to how that first fall ended.
Apparently, Del Rio was willing to sacrifice that first fall, getting disqualified. And he wasn't even done yet, punishing Kalisto before that second fall could get started. And then now, as soon as we enter that second fall, apparently that strategy coming to fruition for Del Rio, who is now even this thing up at 1 apiece.
You gotta understand, Del Rio grew up doing 2 out of 3 fall matches in Mexico. He grew up watching his father and his uncle in 2 out of 3 fall matches. He understands the psychology. Who cares about that first fall? What matters is 2 out of 3, and Del Rio is now in the driver's seat because of his brilliant strategy.
The former 2-time United States champion, as we are set here for the third and final fall. The defending champion Kalisto won the first fall via disqualification, was destroyed in the second fall, and just got leveled by that clothesline.
Right here.
And Alberto Del Rio within a 1 count of becoming a 3-time United States champion.
And just like the second fall started, now this third fall, Del Rio maintaining the advantage.
Del Rio perches Kalisto on the top turnbuckle.
Come on.
And again, showing disdain for the Lucha Libre tradition, which I find shocking because in his most high-profile MMA fight, he paid homage to his father, Dos Caras, wearing a mask.
Well, there's absolutely no respect there. Del Rio has no respect whatsoever for Kalisto.
You're in a fight. Who cares about respect? You want to win respect, beat your opponent.
And that's what Alberto Del Rio is doing with Kalisto tied up in the tree of woe in a precarious position. Del Rio about to ascend to the top turnbuckle.
This is going to be over quick.
Countdown, gentlemen, just under 15 minutes away from the start of Fastlane.
About to see a new United States champion.
We may have Del Rio hits this.
Oh, Kalisto, though.
But that's a big if.
Try, oh, beautiful Frankensteiner! And what a counter move by Kalisto to buy himself some precious time.
Window of opportunity for the United States champion.
Del Rio up to his feet first. Oh, and a big boot right to the face. Springboard, Shin Senton. Ducks under the clothesline. Kalisto using his speed. Corkscrew.
This is where Kalisto's at home.
Short run out. Plants. Alberto Del Rio face first. Goes for the cover. Hooks the leg. Kalisto almost retained the title right there.
Kalisto giving everything he has out there. He understands. He is fighting an uphill battle right now against Alberto Del Rio. And you talk about a battle. Look, these two guys know each other very well. Neither one want to go back to Mexico, not the United States champion.
Oh, quebradora con hilo by Alberto Del Rio, the tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. And again, he has the upper hand. Oh, but is met with a boot right to the face. Wow. Beautiful DDT, side press, hooks the outside leg, and again!
Oh, man, so close.
Del Rio able to kick out in the nick of time.
It's almost like a sudden death mentality right now between Kalisto and Del Rio.
It really is overtime, game 7.
It better be a sudden death mentality.
This almost suddenly came to an end in Kalisto's favor.
The next fall will determine who walks on the Quicken Loan Arena as the United States champion.
Kalisto might be thinking this could be the final move in his corner to put away.
Oh, and he gets crushed on the top turnbuckle by the quick thinking, the veteran, the sage Alberto Del Rio.
Look, Del Rio despises this Kalisto, and for very good reason. Look, Kalisto is a protege of Octagon in Mexico. And what did he do when he get on his own? He forgets all of his upbringing. He comes in here, he tries to outshine Mexico's greatest export in Alberto Del Rio. Now, Del Rio today is taking the young luchador to school.
And Kalisto knows this is going to be a fight. He knew it was going to be a battle.
He outshot him at the rope. Beautiful move there by Alberto Del Rio. Inverted superplex.
Wow, did Del Rio get unlucky?
Maybe lucky for Kalisto. I'm not sure if he meant to roll out of the ring. Watch this again. Watch the impact of Kalisto. Oh! Uh-oh. Yeah, be careful, Del Rio. Get yourself disqualified again.
Again on the outside, this is where Alberto Del Rio got disqualified in the first fall, but he has Kalisto.
Oh, wait a minute.
In a bad way. Oh, the double stop! Driving the soles of his boots through the midsection of Kalisto.
Del Rio wins by count out. We're going to have a new champion.
Literally taking the wind out of Kalisto's sails.
Ball game.
And again, the title can change hands on a countout. 1-1. Will Alberto Del Rio win the championship via countout?
Officials up there. Oh!
Just beat the count. Incredible stuff here between Alberto Del Rio and Kalisto.
Kalisto just saved his championship right there.
One of the hotter rivalries of 2016. It was at the Royal Rumble where Kalisto became a two-time champion.
Look at this again. Double stomp off the barricade. Oh,
sick thud. And again.
Yeah, it looks like Del Rio's looking for a sequel.
The tree of woe couldn't be used to close the show for Alberto Del Rio. Oh, he missed it.
I think Del Rio jammed his leg on that as well as jammed his left knee.
Oh, Kalisto looking for that Salida del Sol.
No way, no way, no way.
Oh, the momentum though, head first goes Alberto Del Rio. The quick roll up by Kalisto. He does it. Kalisto retains the United States Championship.
Your winner and still the United States Champion, Kalisto.
And just like that, Kalisto wins his best 2 out of 3 falls match. 2 falls to 1. He remains campeón de Estados Unidos, JBL.
He certainly does.
And I assure you, that was no fluke.
I may agree with you, Byron.
Was it?
It certainly appears that Kalisto somehow has his number.
Watch this. We thought Kalisto trying to go for Salida del Sol, but hey, talk about calling the audible here. Nice roll up. 3 seconds later, Kalisto's still your champion.
You know, sometimes in matchups, crazy things happen. Kalisto may have Del Rio's number.
At this level of the game, there's no such thing as flukes. Kalisto remains the United States champion here at WWE Fastlane Kickoff.
Wow, what a phenomenal matchup for the United States Championship. And that is just a taste of what's to come here tonight from Cleveland on the WWE Network here at WWE Fastlane. And hey, speaking of phenomenal, we promised it, the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, joining us here in the social media lounge. You ready to answer some questions?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, cool. The first question that we have comes in from Taylor. Taylor wants to know, how does it feel to be in WWE, and do you believe that you'll be able to create even more of a legacy for yourself?
Well, I'm very proud of what I've done all over the world, obviously. But when it comes to legacy, let me put it to you this way. I wrestled Chris Jericho in my first match in the WWE and beat him. That's how you start off a legacy. You do it right here in the WWE.
All right, let's move on here to the next question. And the reaction of the fans at the Royal Rumble, what did that feel like when you walked through the curtain?
Mind blown. It was unbelievable. The roar of the crowd, it was amazing. I didn't expect it. You know, I wanted it, but I didn't expect it. And it's a moment that I'll never forget.
Is it a moment that you ever thought would actually happen?
I got to admit, it did take me a while to get here. But I am here in the WWE, and I'm glad that I had the opportunity to stand in that ring.
Cool. Let's move on to the next question. Was there a particular wrestler that inspired you as a kid to become who you are today?
He wasn't a wrestler. He was a football player. Barry Sanders, Detroit Lions, one of the best running backs in NFL history. Also, not the biggest guy, which, you know, kind of the same thing I'm going through here. I'm around these big giants, and obviously I'm not the biggest guy, but, you know, phenomenal things happen when Barry got on the field, and the phenomenal things happen when I get in the ring.
As far as in-ring competitors, who inspired you?
Oh, several different wrestlers. It wasn't just one. But I would say if I had to pick one, Sting. Athletic, face paint, it was awesome.
It's pretty good company to be inspired by, huh?
Yeah.
All right, we have time for one more question. You have time?
Let's do it.
All right, cool. Last question here. How does wrestling in WWE compare to wrestling in other companies around the world?
Well, I'll put it to you like this. When it comes to baseball, you know, I played for the minor leagues. I went to Japan, but nothing compares to the MLB. This is the major leagues. This is WWE. And like I said, it's hard to compare, you know, anything else to the WWE.
All right, AJ, thanks for joining us here, and I know the WWE Universe appreciates you taking some time to answer their questions.
Yeah, no worries. Glad to do it.
All right, we are just getting started here tonight from Cleveland on the WWE Network, and a huge match on the way later tonight. We will name a brand new #1 contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
We will definitely be getting to that, but first of all, King, what are you eating? What's going on over there?
I'm eating my words after that Kalisto match.
Yes, Kalisto retains the United States Championship. That was fantastic. AJ Styles and Chris Jericho. How impressed have you been with AJ Styles since he debuted at Royal Rumble?
Oh, I mean, nothing that I didn't expect. AJ Styles is just that phenomenal. The guy here now to make a big move heading to WrestleMania, he's going to get his chance.
How worried do you think Chris Jericho's looking tonight, Graves?
How worried is
How
he?
worried is Chris Jericho? Yeah.
I don't think Jericho's worried about anything. He knows what's at stake. He feels embarrassed that he lost to AJ on Raw. He doesn't want to let it happen at Fastlane. He's not worried.
The clock is ticking down, as Rich said. Coming up, we're going to be breaking down tonight's triple threat main event to determine who our new #1 contender is to the WWE Championship at WrestleMania.
A triple threat match at Fastlane.
Fasten your seatbelt. This is going to be good.
Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar.
Those three go to WrestleMania to fight Triple H for the title.
The Vincent J. McMahon Legacy of Excellence Award will be kicking off Monday Night Raw at 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night on the USA Network. And tonight, in moments, Fastlane is live on the WWE Network, and our main event is a triple threat match with the winner guaranteed the main event marquee match at WrestleMania versus Triple H with the WWE title in the line. We talked to Paul Heyman earlier. We got his side of things. But from you two, your experience that you've had in the ring, especially you being able to work so closely with your brother, you're in the shoes of Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. How do you prepare for this match? What's the game plan?
You know, the thing with Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns is going to come a time where they're going to have to separate and go in there, and they're going to have to put friendship to a side, such as my brother and I, came a time when I had to go on to become a singles wrestler, one of the greatest of all time, if I may add. But that may happen tonight here at Fastlane. We may see that.
King, how do you see this going? What are you writing down over there?
Hang on. I'm
doing the math?
I'm writing my acceptance speech for the Vincent J. McMahon Award. But as far as the Beast goes, he's going to handle business. It's going to be, like you said earlier, I think the implosion between the brothers is going to be ugly.
So from Triple H's standpoint, being the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, who do you think he's better off to be facing at WrestleMania? If it were up to him, who do you think he wants to be facing in that main event?
At the end of the day, it's all about what's best for business, and nothing is better for business than the attraction that is the Beast, Brock Lesnar, headlining WrestleMania with the game Triple H, one of the greatest of all time. There is nothing better than that. That's period.
Are you guys all telling me that you see Brock Lesnar just walking out of here as the #1 contender?
I didn't say that.
That's what I'm saying.
You two are. Who do you see going home?
I'll tell you, any three of these guys, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Brock Lesnar, of course, is going to be a viable opponent for Triple H at WrestleMania. My guy, the guy that I want to see go out there and pull it off, is Dean Ambrose, the lunatic fringe. To see Dean Ambrose as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, oh my God!
How would that change? I mean, we're here, we're in the Quicken Loans Arena, we're at a sold-out arena. Could you imagine what this place would look like with Dean Ambrose as a WWE champ?
I can see Dean Ambrose riding down the street, in a hot rod, dragging the title behind him, and sparks just flying all over the place. That's the kind of champion Dean Ambrose is going to be.
Dean Ambrose is the guy that promised to replace Michael Cole with a fish tank. Let's not forget that.
Hey, wait a minute. I'm going to start pulling for Dean Ambrose.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, the time is ticking down. We're just going to have to wait to see who exactly is going to be walking out. But this is the road to WrestleMania. These people all know it. It's kind of dangerous having Booker and King out here. Everyone's chanting for them the whole time.
I always like doing that.
The sold-out
like
Quicken Loans Arena is pumped up for tonight. They know that this is one of the last stops before we get to WrestleMania. But in just moments, we are going to be live on the WWE Network. You still have time to head on over to WWENetwork.com. Subscribe to the network. It is free to new subscribers. The clock is ticking. We are going live right now. This is WWE Fastlane as we continue down the road to WrestleMania.
I want this.